Hello, I will be doing a short and quick tutorial, and I will have chapters for every command, and within each chapter for that command there will be some tips and tricks as well as kind of how to get started and what things mean. This won't be completely in depth. You might have to go to DMC and ask around if you have some other questions still, but this should get you more than enough to get started and enjoy fishing. So right off the bat, when you start fishing for the first time, I recommend you run fish catch, and you will have our first NPC, Zara, talking to you and giving you a step-by-step tutorial. Please make sure you pay attention. It covers a lot of the basics of this and shows you very clearly step-by-step how that works. If you seem to be stuck in the tutorial, make sure you double read what she said. All right, so we're going to start off here with fish catch. This is how you go fishing. You start off with a menu, and you can see I have a fishing rod and an eyeball bait equipped, as well as 14 available space in my bucket, and I am at the Crypt Keeper's Pond. So to start, I don't want to be at the Crypt Keeper's Pond anymore. I want to go to Wiley River. So I'm going to hit the location and then travel to, you see it says 60 minutes. So you then go get a snack and come back in 60 minutes. If you don't want to, those free gems that you get from the Initiates bundle, pick those up, use them to skip travel. It's definitely worth it. We're going to go ahead and do that for the sake of this tutorial. If you cancel, you'll lose all your progress and stay in the same part, even if you're like halfway through. And if you want to reduce this, we'll talk about that later in the skills chapter. So now we are at the Wiley River. I'm going to go to equipment, and I'm going to equip a harpoon and lucky bait. Those are now equipped just by selecting them, so I can just hit go back. But just so you're aware, the bait and what they do is right here when you select it. Increases the luck and the rarity of fish you catch, used when any creature is caught. Baits are only used when they are successfully used. So, for example, the eyeball bait increases the odds of catching a unique variant or chroma fish. If you catch a fish and it's not a unique variant or a chroma fish, you will not use one of your durability on the bait. So they should last a long time. Unique variants and chroma fish are kind of like Pokemon shinies, but for our fishing system. So when you have your equipment in order, you have your location in order, your bucket space is good, you can go ahead and hit go fishing. So what'll happen is you pop up this menu, and a lot of people seem to get confused by this. Let me zoom in just a little bit so you can see more clearly. One of these is a fish, one of these is a mine. This one is the fish, this one is the mine. This one is darker, this one has spikes. What you want to do is you want to use these buttons to make your way to the shadow, which is the fish, and then hit the catch button. High quality, that's pretty lucky. So now I caught this fish. It tells me when I can fish again, and it tells me the unique size and weight, and this is a rare one. And you see my harpoon went down 1 durability, but my eyeball bait did not, because this was not a unique or chroma variant. My bucket space lost a slot, or in this view at least, went up a slot. It's filling up. So I can right here feature this, and we'll talk about featured later. Just know that I featured this. And then you can just hit fish again. You don't have to run fish catch again. So this time it looks like there is no mine. I'm going to go up. I'm going to hit catch on the shadow. Oh, I got another electric eel. What are the odds? All right. So this is how you fish. Very simple, easy to do, one menu. If you use all of your tool, it will equip the next one if you have multiple. Like if I use my dynamite, it'll equip a new dynamite. If not, if I use the rest of my harpoon, it'll default back to your hand. Bait does not work that way. You always have to equip one if it breaks, because we don't want people accidentally going through all their bait without realizing it. So now that we've gone through this, let's do another important command, which is buckets. This is how you manage your inventory as far as fishing goes, because fish, just like tools, are not real Dankmamer items. They're not in your inventory command. They're all within this system. So this is the main view. Bucket slots are like slots where you can put in a unique bucket. So there's different buckets. So I have a pink bucket and I have a wooden bucket. They hold different amounts of fish. You'll notice if you look up here at my bucket space from fishing, it shows out of 15 because it's my combined space. It automatically assigns fish to the first bucket first, and then after that, just whatever one has space going down the list. So if you want to manage your slots, for example, you can hit manage slots. And if I had, I do have a third actually, this will be perfect. So I'm going to select slot 2 because there's nothing in my wooden bucket. And I'm going to equip my fuck it bucket and go back. And now I have my fuck it bucket there. By default, you only have one slot. I have a skill upgrade, which we'll talk about later. But to see what is inside this pink bucket, if I don't want to just sell all fish immediately, I can click this, view my pink bucket, and now I can see what's inside of it. I can see its coin worth, and I can see like the overall value and how much space is in it. So I am going to show you a few things here. For one, let me show you manage fish. So this changes the menu slightly, and now I can select the fish from here that I want to manage. We're going to do this high quality electric eel. So we've got feature, which is the same as that camera button that I showed you on fish catch. We'll talk about here in a little bit. We've got select all, which will select all, not just the one I selected. Rename. We can rename this to whatever we want. Now the name has been reflected here. We're going to reselect that. We can sell it, we can move it, or we can go back. So first, let's move it. So you can move it from here, from this menu that we just showed, to your fish tank. That's how you get fish in your fish tank, which we'll talk about the fish tank in a new chapter. Or you can move it to a different bucket. I want to put oi in my fuck it bucket. Confirm. Now that's where it is. So I'm going to go back to the pink bucket. Here's my 2 remaining fish here. I'm going to manage them again. I'm going to select all this time. And I'm going to mass rename them to Badosh. And you'll see why here in a little bit. And then I'm going to select them all again. I'm going to sell them. And I can either sell them for coins or tokens. And it is not equal. It is not, it does not scale the same. Both of these are only worth 1 token. Most fish are only worth 1 token. A few are worth more than that, but you'll have to discover that for yourself. So I'm going to sell these for tokens because I'm itching for tokens more than I am coins. So that menu was my confirmation. There is no confirmation after that. Successfully sold those 2 fish for 2 tokens. So now this menu does not have, or this bucket does not have anything else in it. However, my fuck it bucket does. But I don't really feel like going into each of my individual buckets if I'm just going to sell all my fish anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this sell all fish button, and it'll just do exactly what the last menu did, but it's selecting all fish from all buckets. Not your fish tank, not your idle fishing machine, which we'll talk about in the idle fishing chapter. It's from your buckets. Notice that one was worth 2. So that's basically buckets in a nutshell. Buckets are actually, this is important. Buckets are unique unlocks. Once you get a pink bucket or a fuck it bucket, you can't have 2. You can't put a fuck it bucket in 2 slots, for example. And you can't get a second fuck it bucket. They're like skins where they're one-time unlocks. Bucket slots are something that are expandable with skills, and we'll go talk about skills right now. So it's fish skills. So this overview kind of shows you where I've got points attributed right now. You can see that they're in these categories. So since we were talking about buckets, that's storage specialist. Why don't we go look at that one in the science category? So I've already unlocked 1, storage specialist 1, unlock a second bucket slot. You can see that there are requirements. For storage specialist 2, I need to have the fishing badge. For storage specialist 5, I need to have the collector's badge. You see your skill points and how many you have here at the bottom. And you get more of those in the fishing guide it has skill challenges, which we will show as our next chapter. But these points can be reset via this button. If you decide you don't like what you did, there's a 3-day cooldown on it, so be sure to use that sparingly. But there's so many skills that do so many different things. Aquarium Keeper is a very popular one, and I'll tell you right now, and I'll say it again in the fish chapter in case people didn't watch this one, or in the fish tank chapter. If you want to hold more fish and more decorations in your tank, you have to upgrade this. You have to put skill points into this. So that is where you will come. And that's actually what I'm going to unlock with my next skill point here. So now I can hold more fish and more decorations. But before we go look at our fish tank, let's go look at our fishing guide, because this is a very big part of the fishing system. So fish guide, by default, it selects your summary and skill challenges pages. It does not select all the pages. You're welcome to do this drop down and select all the pages that you want to see if for some reason you want to see all of them. Notice this paginator changed to 80 pages. By the way, new technology in this update, you can click this and you can go to a specific page. Woohoo! Okay, so we're on my summary page. You'll notice here, when I featured that catch with the camera button, this is where it showed up. That's the same place that the feature button in the bucket managing system goes. You can feature one catch. You do not have to still have that fish to have it still featured, but you do have to have it when you feature it. You can't feature a fish you've already sold. You see some basic stats. You can see my season passed here. You can see my season rank, and this season rank is a ranking of like who has the highest season pass tiers. You'll see a few things here. Favorite creature is just the creature you've caught the most. Favorite bait is the bait you use the most. Favorite location is the place that you have fished the most. Bosses caught, none. And we'll get into why here in just a second. Variants caught, 3. So a high quality, for example, is a variant. And these are not the same as quote unquote unique fish. A piranha and an electric eel are not 2 variants. But a high quality piranha and a high quality electric eel are 2 variants. So that's part of that goes into this variants discovered bar down here. Creatures completed. We'll talk about a completion card. It was in the tutorial, but we'll go look at one here in a minute. And then locations completed. So why don't we take a look at a few of these cards, because there's a lot of different types here. So let's start off by looking at the creature completed I have. So this is what you get completed in the tutorial. It's completed when you catch all the variants, which is on this signpost, and when you discover the entire time range, which the time range for this specific completion does not matter. It's set in the tutorial. It's just a tutorial. We're going to give you the completion just for the sake of the tutorial. You can see on each individual fish some fun stats, including how much it sells for, how much XP it's worth, and your largest catch, which I think is very fun. So let's look at, I would show you NPCs, but I actually haven't ran into one yet, but we will talk about them. Let's look at locations. Camp Guillermo. Crypt Keeper's Pond. Here's where I've been fishing the most. So you'll notice this bar right here is empty, but when we were looking at the Camp Guillermo, it was not. These are silhouettes of NPCs. If an NPC shows up on a location card here in the guidebook, it means they can be at that location. It doesn't mean they are there. It means they can be there. Most NPCs have 2 places they can be. Zara, our fishing guide, can be at more than 2. Each singular day, an NPC picks one location to be at. That is midnight UTC, they'll pick a new location. But you'll see, I haven't caught all the creatures yet. There's still 2 silhouettes here. So I'm going to tell you right now, this one is a piranha. I have not caught that yet. Because I have not caught the piranha, I cannot catch this one, which is a boss. You cannot catch a boss at a location until everything else there has been completed. So the boss for our Halloween location, Crypt Keeper's Pond, which will be out for about 2 weeks after this tutorial is posted, give or take, will not be caught by me until I catch a piranha here. So if you're trying to look for this fish, no, you're actually looking for this one first. So let's go look at, and then stuff like tools and baits, they have some fun stats you can look at too. But let's look at skill challenges, because skill challenges are very important. This is how you get more skill points. These are like achievements, but they're specific to fishing, and the rewards are always skill points. So you can see just kind of there's a title, what you need to do, your reward, and then like how many you need for the requirement. So if we go to, let me find it. I'll find it eventually. Here it is. Punch Badosh's throat. Sell 1,000 fish named Badosh for tokens. So I've got 2 of 1,000. So that's why when I sold those fish, I renamed them to Badosh first. So yeah, this is how you get more skill points. You cannot get enough skill points to max out all the skills. If you guys have good builds for your skills, you should share them with each other, because it's just, you know, helpful to share. You'll see some of them give you 2. And yeah, that's skill challenges, and that's the gist of the guidebook. Up next, let's talk about the fish tank. Mine's a little bit warped right now, but you'll see I've got a decoration here, and I've got a skeleton fish who is being a little bit funky. It is currently drunk and upside down, which is funny. So if you hit the manage button, you'll see this new view, and we can manage fish or decorations. If you are trying to figure out why you don't have a fish here, it's because you haven't moved it in the buckets menu. And decorations you have will automatically show up here. So once you've unlocked one, it will be here. For decorations, you can move them to different parts of the tank. For now, as of release, there are only 4 slots, and they're only along the bottom. For the fish, you can rename them in the buckets menu, but you can also rename them here. If you remove it, it will go back to a bucket, FYI. So this one I'm going to rename to small guy. So he's going to lose some of his special effects, and now he's really teeny tiny. There's a few different Easter eggs you guys can go find. I think it's fun. If you have unlocked a skin for your fish tank, which I, for example, have, this is the default one, but just like you unlock other skins select fish tank, you can go here and select your fish tank skin. Let me go back. And would you look at that? It's from the pink event. So fish tanks, pretty simple. You don't need to care for your fish. You don't need to upkeep them, at least at launch. So enjoy your fish tank, enjoy decorating it. And again, if you need more slots for fish or decorations, default is 1 of each. If you want more than that, you need to go to the skills, the aquarium keeper skill, and you need to upgrade that skill. All right. So we've gone over catch, we've gone over buckets, we've gone over guide, we've gone over skills, we've gone over tank. So one of the skills that I forgot to go over, my bad, was an AFK skill. Once you unlock the AFK skill, you unlock fish idle as a command. So you'll notice it fishes every 30 minutes, or at least it attempts to. And it can only hold 5 fish at once. So it is currently running, If it gets full, it will stop running and it won't continue running until you collect it and restart it. For myself, I'm going to collect these, and I'll show you right now that those went straight to my buckets. And I collected them, and yeah. It will not always catch something. It's why it says attempt. Sometimes it will have a chance to not catch anything. If you want to speed this up, it is definitely possible to speed it up and have more storage. If you go to the science tree, AFK. So I just have the base tier, it just unlocks it. After I get the badge, tier 2 will give me the storage will be doubled and the cooldown will be 20 minutes. And then storage, the storage will be doubled again. Wow, that's really good. And then the cooldown will be 10 minutes. And then the storage is 25 and the cooldown is 5 minutes. So just like a lot of things with skills, you can incrementally upgrade this. And yeah. So next, let's do the leaderboards. So the leaderboards. At launch, they are a little bit new and confusing because this is never how we've done leaderboards before. But there's a score here. It does not equal like how many times someone has fished, or like if you're looking at a fish leaderboard, it does not equal how many fish they have caught. There's multiple different factors that play into the score. If you've done fights and fight ranks, it's kind of like that, where it's not always one-to-one. It doesn't always make the most sense. In this case for fish, for example, the most important thing is having the biggest catch of that fish for the day. And by the way, leaderboards reset daily. And that's when new leaderboards are selected and everyone starts fresh on the leaderboards. The most important for fish specifically, for example, are having the biggest fish. And then you get less points for things like total caught or amount of like high quality, I believe it's high quality fish that are caught, or high quality variants that are caught. And each leaderboard has different things that weigh into it. Like for NPCs, the most important thing is having good reputation. And then if everyone's tied on good reputation in the top 10, then it will be how many times you've interacted with them that day. So the score is a score, not a count. There are multiple rewards associated with the leaderboards. We will, in a future update, be adding a way to see what those rewards are without going and reading into tutorial. So keep an eye out for that. But one of the multiple rewards is if you get first place at the end of the day on a leaderboard, you get the platinum fishing badge. And that is something that a lot of people will want to be going for. So all we have left to look at are fish log, fish season, and fish shop. So let's start with fish log. So if you've ever used currency log to see kind of where your money and items have gone, just in case you thought there was a bug or just like you needed to look back and see like how much you sent someone, this is the same, but for fishing. So this is where you'll see stuff like fish tokens. It's where you'll see where you caught things, and it'll even show you the tool and idle fishing machine. That's really cool. And it'll also show you even what bait you caught it with, or if you broke a bait. So this shows you a lot of different things, and it is very useful if you get confused about like what's going on and what's happening. So yeah, definitely refer to this before going and reporting a bug just to make sure. So in the fish shop, this is where you spend your tokens. The token economy is much different than the coin economy. It's not always linear, and we don't always expect people to have, tens of thousands of tokens. So a fishing rod is only 50. Vintage bait is only 75, etc., and so on. You'll notice here it says better relation required. When you interact with NPCs in multitude of various ways, you will gain or lose reputation based on, failing a task or saying something in a dialogue that they really didn't like. So some of these shop things are locked behind having a good relationship with a character. So if you want a harpoon, you need to have a pretty good relationship with our NPC Chad. And it's not just tools and baits. There's also a pet. There's also a really not the best coin to token exchange here, but that's ran by Chet, the crypto bro NPC, so that definitely checks out. There's some titles that'll rotate here. Here's where you can get some buckets. There's also some buckets in the season pass, but this is how most people will be getting their buckets. And then there's also tons of decorations. These are decorations for your fish tank. And last but not least, here's where you get some of the new fishing items. And you'll notice it says Shopkeeper 2 required. That is a skill. So you go and you get Shopkeeper rank 2 to unlock being able to buy these things. If you want to know what these things do, you can do /item and then put in the name, and it will tell you what the usage is. And here's where you buy them. And then last, and most certainly not least, is fish season. So this is a season pass. We're going to be doing 2 month or slightly over 2 month stretches of content for fishing. And I'm going to tell you right now, one of your first feedback points is going to be that this feels really slow to level. One, it's slightly intended. We want the content genuinely to stretch out to 2 months. You don't need to be a hardcore, insane player to level. You just need to play pretty consistently. And the rewards, there is a free track for everyone. No matter if you've ever given a cent to this bot or not, you can get all the rewards on the free track just by doing it. Common question. Does the season pass disappear after the 2 months? Yes, like most season passes. Unless you have purchased the premium upgrade. If you purchase the premium upgrade, you will keep the pass until you have it completed. So what that means is since I bought this, if I don't come back to the bot for a year, I will still have this and will still be able to continue leveling this as long as I want. If I buy 3 different seasons and don't level any of them, I will be leveling all of them up at once. The free track, guys, is really good. There's a lot of stuff on it, including, but not limited to, an exclusive gems box. But with the free pass, you need to get it done within the season. You get XP by catching fish. Most fish are 1 XP. Event fish, like there's currently a Halloween event going on, those are worth 2 XP, and bosses are worth 3 XP. If you use something like a dynamite tool and you catch 3, 4, 5 fish at a time, you're getting XP per fish. So if you catch 3 high quality fish, 3 event fish at once, you're getting 2, 4, 6 XP in that one catch, not just 3 XP for the whole thing. This does not scale up. It is always 500 XP per tier. There's no way to multiply this. Multipliers for XP, luck, or coins do not affect the fishing system at all. Look at this free skin. This is a Pepe Trophy skin. I love that a lot. So yeah, this is the season pass. It's really simple. You can buy the upgrade to it right here if you haven't already. And it's 999 gems for the season pass, and it's 2 months worth of content. If that's not a great value, I don't know what is. If you've been watching, there's been some insane rewards here for that value. So yeah, highly recommend. If for no other reason other than you get to, as long as you want to do the entire season pass. And the free track is genuinely nothing to scoff at. There's a lot of skins that you can only get from that. So that is a basic overview of the fishing system. Like I said, there's a lot that's not covered here, but we don't want everyone just having everything completely fed to them. We want you to go out and discover. We put a lot of work into this. It's 4 months worth of work. And there's going to be a lot of updates. There's an update next month, a small one with some small new amount of fish. And then season 2 is going to have some huge gameplay changes here in December. So go check out fishing. It was made free to play in mind, and paid stuff was not added until 2 days before release. Um, you guys will love it. I love it. Like I've genuinely like actually been playing. I haven't. This isn't just for show. Like I just hung out in a VC for a bit and was just fishing with people. It's great. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask around in DMC and the Grind Strategy channel. They're really good there about helping people answer questions. So yeah, that will be it. Thanks, guys.